Welcome to the podcast, It All Starts With You. I'm Eileen Lemelman, your host. On this podcast, you're going to meet midlife women in business, finance, media, medicine, philanthropy, speakers, coaches, and teachers who are inspiring us to move forward in life and continue to do great things regardless of age. You will meet women who are no longer willing to follow outdated and antiquated rules that tell us to behave a certain way, look a certain way, and play small. Shifting into midlife requires us to challenge those old notions that we are no longer relevant and to take a back seat as you age. On this podcast, we will support, encourage, educate, and inspire women 40, 50, 60, 70, and beyond to challenge limiting beliefs and step into your power, because it all starts with you. Hi, everyone. This is Eileen Lemelman, and you are listening to the It All Starts With You podcast, the show that encourages and inspires, educates and supports women of all ages to step into their power so they can shine their light in this world. Today, we're talking to the founders of Studio 52, a place for women to come together in community in an immersive experience so that they can connect to their true selves. Rachel Gross has spent years building community, most notably in education. She's passionate about finding opportunities for conscious connection. And Lisa Kendall, who I happen to know and love, is a certified therapeutic art and life coach, and she helps guide women to connect to their innermost self, sparking passion and sparking their purpose in life. So welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here with you, Eileen.
So happy I'm so happy to have you. We've been planning this for a while, so this is beautiful. So I guess my first question is Studio 52. Why? What is that name about? How did you get that name? Who wants to answer?
I'll go with that one. And I am so happy that you asked that question, because I feel that sometimes I just forget to even describe where that came from. So we are in Chicago in this neighborhood called Andersonville, which was voted the second coolest neighborhood in the world. And
what's the first? Do we know what the first coolest neighborhood is?
Denmark. It's another country, and who's competing with Denmark?
Okay. Oh, yeah, exactly.
But the neighborhood is, it's an incredibly diverse neighborhood, and you have kind of all different identities encapsulated in one place. And so Studio 52 is a hearkening to Studio 54, which was a place that you could go and you didn't know what you were going to get. You didn't know who you would see, and you could be your true self and just go and go in all your glory. So Studio 52, though, our address is 5221. And I am 52 as I launched this vision. So that's where it comes from. Thanks for asking.
Oh, you're welcome. And, mentioning Studio 54, you're going back to my early days of disco, right? I love it.
Totally. And we dance here too.
Dancing and music is so important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
in fact,
go ahead.
All of our sessions, we always have like quiet music in the background, like a very specially curated playlist for this space, but I think just energy, and even if it's binaural beats, there's like some sort of energy and rhythm. I think music's so important.
Energy, yes. Let's talk
it
about.
contributes to a vibe, right? Like when we're at Studio 52, we're not only curating the event and the group of women and what we're going to talk about and what we're going to do, but the many energy workers that have come through have notably said to us, this space feels good. This space feels alive. This space has such good energy. And I know that Rachel and I have really carefully curated the energy of the space from Rachel, who carefully picked out the furniture. For instance, that piece behind her that used to house crystals. It's a vintage, what's it called, Rach? It's a vintage card catalog, right? And making sure that we have we have smudged the space and cleared out any old energy that we don't want in there. We have a growing altar that we are collecting objects for. We have Rachel has vintage teacups, right? We want women to feel cared for, so we pour them tea and have little bites to eat. And so the energy of the space has very intentionally been set so that it sets the stage for the energy of the conversation and the feeling that's infused when women come together.
I love the focus and attention and care that you're talking about in terms of energy and, really looking and worrying and really being so mindful about heart, mind, and soul, because that's what we're talking about. Yeah. We're talking about, the environment. We're talking about being cared for and feeling noticed and validated. We're talking about, feeling safe and comfortable in an environment. So, we kind of touched on already what your intention and attention is to your studio. But what is it that is most important that you want women to learn about at the studio? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to have to get that edited out. I don't know why my phone is connected to that.
I didn't hear that. I know that.
Okay.
And as long as we're editing this out, I think there is a bit of a delay. So that's why, I don't know, like card catalog, Lisa, I said it like several seconds before you heard me say it. It was interesting.
Is your Wi-Fi okay?
Is your Wi-Fi okay? Because actually, Lisa and I are not finding that at all. You're actually lagging.
In the photo.
Yeah, you're delaying.
I'm the one lagging.
Yes.
Shoot. And there's nothing. I just have one Wi-Fi. Like, I think there's nothing I can do.
Are you close enough to the Wi-Fi? Like, are you close enough to the modem?
So here's the thing. The modem is on the floor below me, and it's always worked before, but I don't know what's going on now, but it's not
We'll just do the best we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me, so to get back to what we were talking about, which was energy and intention and attention to really caring for the women that step into the Studio 52. What is it that you want them to learn? And what is it that you want them to really internalize, so to speak, at Studio 52?
Yeah, I think that is a huge question with many tentacles of an answer. The first thing that comes to me is you're enough exactly as you are. Whatever your experience has been up until this point in your life, when you show up at Studio 52, you know that you're in an environment where you are heard, you are seen, you are honored in all of your perfect imperfection. right? It's really embracing the human experience and the truth that life is not always easy and things do not always feel great, right? But that we can ride these waves together as women, supporting one another. And so what women learn is, first of all, you just show up as you. That is the only requirement, right? To attending a salon. You show up as your authentic self and you be exactly who you are. And in this space, you get to learn new skills. You get to focus on your personal development. You might meet a friend or a bunch of friends, right? We have groups that have been together who are now supporting each other through losing parents and through divorce and through challenging times with their children. It really becomes a supportive environment that is incredibly expansive, right? It's a place where you can show up just to be, you can learn, you can grow. And the more, what I'm finding, and I think Rachel would agree with me, is the more time people spend there, the more they're expanding.
You know, talking about gathering and getting together and, you know, having a place, you know, we have to really talk about what that means in this day and age after, you know, we've been isolated and sort of locked down and shut off from each other for so long. And so how are you finding that women are feeling in terms of the face-to-face and being in community in an actual and, you know, place? And also, you know, the vulnerability that comes from that, not only in terms of health and in terms of the fear that has been surrounding us for so many years, but just about the vulnerability of showing up as yourself. So I know I asked a few questions there, but it really has to do with showing up in person.
Yeah. Do you want to take this one, Rach?
I'm going to take it. I just want to go get my phone and see if I can do my Wi-Fi through my phone and not through this server because it's so laggy for me too. So hang on one sec.
Okay, so then maybe while we're waiting for Rachel,
Yeah.
you can, you know.
Yeah, I can dive in. So
Yeah.
what I'm finding is that people fall into a few different categories here. One, you've had the people who are extroverts who could not wait to just bust out and be with other people, right? And so a portion of our people fall under that category. They just want to be in person. They want to feel, you know, talk about energy. They want to feel the energy of conversation and camaraderie and partnership and friendship. Then you have a portion of people that are coming and they're very tentative. They're not sure what it's going to feel like. They're not sure if it's going to be for them. And they are, from what I've seen, pleasantly surprised and are so happy they've taken the risk, because what I'm finding is we're getting lots of repeat clients, right? They see that it feels good and then they want more of it. This is my most interesting category of people now. The third sort of thing that I'm seeing is somebody who doesn't think they need community, doesn't think that they really want to be in person. We had this happen this week actually, but they show up in circle. They share their name and where they're from and why they were drawn to the space. And within 15 minutes of being at Studio 52, they're in tears asking if this is normal. And what Rachel and I say is, this is exactly what happens. You're feeling held, you're feeling loved, you're feeling cared for, you're feeling like you're doing something that feels good for you. So, you know, thank yourself for showing up. So it's interesting. Some people know they need it, others don't know. But either way, the response we've gotten when, you know, you bring a group of women together in circle, the best comparison that I can make for those women who have not had an experience like this is it's almost like being at the greatest summer camp in all of the land, where all you need is the campfire and the guitar and some good conversation, and you leave wanting more. To me, that's what it feels like. It feels like girlfriends sitting around the campfire.
I love that. I love that.
And how often as adults do we get to feel that way?
This
right?
is true. This is true. Yeah. And so,
Well, and
go ahead, Rachel.
oh, I just feel that we have been wearing this proverbial mask for a long time, like even before COVID. I mean, and Lisa and I live in the city, and people don't even make eye contact when they're walking down the street, or when they, you stand in line at Starbucks and no one is making eye contact. And I just feel like our society as a whole, and then COVID compounded it, and the isolation, and women just have to remind themselves, like, there's more to life. I think that's like what gets the women to come to our salon, is like, at some point you have to say, is this all there is? Can I have more in life? Can I feel better? Can I learn tools to feel better? Can I connect with myself? Can I connect with others? Do I have to feel so much anxiety? Like, we can control our mind, we can control ourselves, but we've forgotten. It's like we're numb to connection because it's been so long.
Yeah, I love what you just said, numb to connection. It's so, I mean, obviously the three of us are in alignment with agreeing that being in community and women in community and holding each other in community is so, so important for, personal growth, spiritual growth, social growth. All of these things are really important when we get into community. Talking about spiritual growth, let's dive into what that looks like at Studio 52.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because people are in different journeys and trajectories based on where they're coming from, right? So we have people that are healers and have been on a spiritual path for a long time. And then we have people who are just starting to explore the concept of self-love. And so Rachel and I come from a highly spiritual background, but we don't ever want to feel like we're pushing somebody into an area that doesn't feel comfortable yet. So we try and make these concepts, these ideas, and these rituals, we try to just normalize them, right? When we light a candle at the beginning of our women's circle, we're just grounding, right? We're just being present. We're just savoring the moment. When we pull a card to give our circle direction for the time we're together, we're, on a highly spiritual level, we're calling on intuitive wisdom. However, for people who are not familiar maybe with oracle cards or card pulling, what we're doing is we're just reading a message that can help guide us. So depending where you are in your spiritual journey, you can sort of take this to whatever place makes the most sense to you.
You're talking about setting an intention and really setting the stage for spiritual growth. But what I heard inherent in that statement was also something very important, which is, this generational kind of, line that we're all in, and calling upon our elders to come and assist us and help us and support us. And I love that idea. What do you think about that? And how do you encourage women to, connect to not only the present, which of course we're always talking about being mindful and being present, but also about this generational legacy that is so important for women?
We call in our guides and our ancestors every time we light that candle at the beginning of every session. So we also lead this energy dance. It's a you do you energy dance, but it's a lot of somatic movement. And in that, it's kind of releasing your body, and it's like opening yourself up to the music and the movements and spirit, and kind of just releasing for a while. So but it's funny because we're trying to attract the every woman. It's not just women who do yoga or women who read spiritual books. We're really trying to make this experience accessible to everyone. So maybe you don't think you need spirituality, or you really understand it or know it, but when you are in one of our salons, you will experience it. So it's kind of the after effect. It's like you didn't know you needed connection until you come. You don't know you're broken or hurt or feeling anxiety till you come, and you're like, oh wow, this is what it feels like to put the outside world away for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I'm just here present in this moment.
Yeah. And I also think that, one of the things as a life coach that I get to do when we're holding space for people, right, is sometimes we're recognizing where our blocks come from, or where our trauma comes from, or what is keeping people stuck, right? And it's very difficult to move forward in those realms without examining previous generations. What did our parents go through? What did our grandparents go through? What were their challenges? And have we decided to be the generation that maybe stops the trauma from occurring in future generations? And so when we're talking about personal development, we're always in a space of examining, where have I been? Who am I now? And where am I going? And so that piece is never complete without looking at previous generations. And I think, one of the themes that keeps coming up in the work that Rachel and I do is really about connecting to older traditions, to older ways of viewing things, right? So whether it's living with the cycles, right? Right now we're in this winter phase where many of us feel like maybe we're spending more time indoors or more time at home, right? And instead of saying, well, it's just dark and depressing out, no, maybe, right? Maybe our ancestors would have said to us, this is a time when we hibernate, when we gather ourselves and we really look inward, so that when the spring comes along, we're ready to emerge with a full deck, with lots of vibrant energy, because we've taken that time, right? So how can the seasons not just be the seasons and the temperature that you read on weather.com, but how can they actually hold us? How can they support us? And so this idea of going back to what previous generations and how our ancestors have lived, I actually think that to progress as a society, we actually need to borrow from previous generations to really thrive.
The wisdom and, the experience that women throughout the ages have gathered. And in some ways, it is this, kind of intuitive place that we all have, but we ignore, dismiss, because, we're in such a digital age, we forget that our inner knowing is so powerful and so important. And that didn't only come from us. It came from generations of wisdom, of knowing, of intuition. I love that so much. You got me going. You really got me going.
Well, and it also, I think the reason that this piece lights people up when we talk about it, because it gives us permission to lean into what we're feeling rather than going against the grain, which, Listen, the truth is modern society has been set up in a way that does not serve us physically. It does not serve us mentally. It doesn't serve us socially, and it doesn't serve us spiritually. When you are in a culture that's all about the I, and it's go, 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 it's no wonder that people are feeling the backlash of that, which is isolation, loneliness, lack of purpose, lack of connection. And so, how do we go back to some of those foundational ideas so that we all feel more joy, we feel more fulfilled, we feel more connected, and we have more purpose?
Yeah. So we're talking, we're all, I may be a little older than you guys, but we're all of a certain age, right? And yet we want to talk to all ages. What advice do you give to a woman who's curious and interested in connecting with a community with women of all ages?
I would say that everyone comes in. I was just telling Lisa that I want to put up a sign right outside the door that just says, enter as your highest self. Because if you just come in with in your own glory and be true to yourself, everyone has stories, everyone has wisdom, everyone has experience. I mean, we're connecting on stories and it's themes of stories, and everyone has a different path or journey. So it really doesn't matter what age you are. And again, and it doesn't matter what age you are, we all want to be taken care of. We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. So, the more diversity in a circle of women and in age or any part of it, it just only enriches and adds more perspective on different experiences.
Yeah. And I think the concept too of be open, right? Just come and be open to receiving whatever downloads, whatever wisdom, whatever feelings you have, right? No one ever expands by being closed-minded or rigid. So just come and, I think about my kids in their 20s, right? Just be open to possibility, be open to the connection, and be open to learning. I think when we're open to ourselves, we're open to endless possibilities.
So, as we're talking, I am sure that women are going to be wondering, where are you located? And can I come to this amazing environment, this amazing place where you're going to pour me tea and hold me and love me and allow me to be me? So talk about how people can really take advantage of your center, your services, your energy, in person, but also virtually.
So we are located in Andersonville, Chicago, and it's a third floor walk-up vintage apartment. And we have space, we can go up to 12 to 15 women in a circle in person. So it's an intimate group, regardless of the size. And to contact us, I'm going to let Lisa talk about how you can contact us.
Yeah, well, I would say that there is a virtual option for all of our salons. When we say salon, it's basically like a workshop, right? But it feels like a mini retreat. So we've called them salons. People come from 2 hours, either in person or virtually. And what's beautiful about the virtual option? Well, A, that you don't have to be in Chicago, but B, you literally feel like you are in a circle with us by the way we position the computer, right? We all go around and introduce ourselves, and you're a part of that circle virtually. So
they have a seat in the circle.
Yeah, all this good energy you
feel interactive.
You can receive on Zoom. And then we have different workshops that we build around different themes, different books. We've done You Can Heal Your Life. We've done the Miracle Morning. We have a book by David Hawkins that's coming up on deck. We will be doing The Artist Way sometime in the next few months. If you're interested in getting on our mailing list, you can reach us through @Studio52Chicago on Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook @Studio52Chicago. And through those two places, you can definitely get a taste for what we do and who we are, and some interaction. We're also in the process of forming our next journey group. Our journey groups are a group of no more than 10 women, and we meet weekly for 8 weeks. Each journey group has a theme. The one that we're finishing up right now was an 8-week journey through the chakra system, where we had different practitioners and healers come in to speak each week on the particular chakra and then integrate it, right? So it becomes an immersive experience. We're not just learning in a vessel, we're learning how to apply these things to ourselves so that we can really move the needle on how we're feeling about things. So that's another fun happening. We have a salon coming up. Rachel, what are the dates in March for the next 2 salons? Do you have that?
I do. Wednesday, March 1st from 3 to 5 Central Time, and Wednesday, March 8th, 3 to 5 Central Standard Time.
Yeah, so if people are interested, they can definitely reach out over Instagram or Facebook. Our website is under construction right now, so we'll let people know through social media as soon as that is back up and running.
That's wonderful. Of course, we were talking about being in person, but the fact that people can take advantage of it virtually is great. And, I would be remiss if I didn't, talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is my self-love challenge that's coming up. I know, that is exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about how do we love ourselves, and how do we remember ourselves, and how do we prioritize ourselves and set aside time to really care for our physical body, our mental health, and our spiritual growth. And that's going to be coming up in my challenge, which is Self-Love Warrior Challenge, which I'm launching. And I hope that I can also, invite people in your salon, in your studio, in your groups that might want to join, my community as well. Because listen, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about collaboration. It's about connection. It's about supporting one another. Somebody said the other day to me, I was at an event, and she said, I don't want anybody to knock my crown off. I want you to straighten my crown. And I thought that was, oh my goodness. Yes. We, when you think about that visually, right? Knocking someone's crown off, you're taking away their power, their value. And when you go over and you straighten the crown, it's like, yes, it's such a loving act. I want you.
It's like, I was going to say, it's like when you have a piece of food in your teeth, and it's your girlfriend who's like, oh, you got to fix it. You got to fix it. Like everyone else is letting you run around like that.
Exactly. That's how someone loves you, when they say, you got a little piece of lettuce in that tooth. I love this.
Can you tell us about the self-love challenge? We'd love to share that with our community.
Okay, I'll share that. I'll share that with you. I'll actually send you both the link.
Thank you.
It's going to be 14 days of, journal prompts and all kinds of, I'm going to have a private Facebook group where we can support one another. There's going to be daily love. It's going to be daily for 14 days, where you're going to have a daily love challenge, self-love challenge, as well as meditation. So it's going to be a beautiful experience for 14 days to just really learn how to love yourself. And so that's what we're both saying, aren't we?
That's where it starts, I believe, right? It starts in
Self-love
wanting-
starts with you.
That's it.
It all starts with you, right?
There we go. We've come full circle.
We've come full circle.
I know. Do you always end that way?
I try to. But anyway, it was so not only wonderful, but it touched my heart to be with the two of you, to be in connection with women that are in alignment with what I want for my community and what I want for the world. Because when we're in community and we're healing ourselves individually, we're also healing the world. We're putting love out into the world. We all have a desire to be part of a community. The search for connection is universal and exists even among people who think of themselves as loners. So get out there and explore, and you will find the right community. Studio 52 or the Self-Love Warrior Challenge. Find your community and build your tribe. Today, I always like to end with an affirmation. Today's affirmation is, I do things with other people because I celebrate our aliveness. On my website, eileenlemelman.com, you're going to find resources to connect to my show, resources to connect to finding the ageless goddess within. You're going to find resources to how to be a sponsor on my show, because guess what? Your message means so much, and I want to bring awareness to your community as well. I want to bring awareness to what you bring to the table. So connect with me on my website. Also, go to Instagram. Eileen Lemelman is my Instagram. You getting the message? It's all about Eileen Lemelman, and it all starts with you. That's how you can connect with me. That's how you can have a voice with me. And that's how we can start to have a dialogue with one another. I'm all about relationships. I'm all about connections, and I want to connect with you. So start connecting with me, and let's find out what your why is in midlife, because it all starts with you. It all starts with you. Thank you for including me and trusting me as your mentor on your life's journey.